when I knew it was trouble.
Now as she checks on her home with more storms on the way,
It's a reminder.
just the sound of rain makes her nervous.
Everything right now for us is completely uprooted. Nothing is normal. So, you know, I mean, the idea that something else is gonna roll through is it's unnerving to us.
And with insurance adjusters saying they have 3 to 6 months of work ahead of them,
We're just taking one day at a time.
she and her husband will be in a hotel, hoping no more danger comes their way. Reporting in Laplace, Casey Ferrand, WDSU News.
The water started rising early in many parts of the viewing area, and viewers sent in pictures. This is Lakeshore Drive in Mandeville earlier today. And out at the docks in Slidell, the water began to swell early as well. People in the New Orleans area have also seen some high water, some flooding today. This is in West End. There are several sandbag locations in parishes across southeast Louisiana. Big piles of sand and several hundred bags are available for you to pick up. Just bring your own shovel. This is in well, the sandbags are available until supplies run out. For a list of all sandbag locations, you can check out our website at WDSU.com.
And several schools around southeast Louisiana are closed tomorrow, including Jefferson Parish Public Schools. The Archdiocese of New Orleans has announced all Catholic schools in the civil parishes of Orleans, Jefferson, St. Charles, St. John, and St. Tammany parishes will be closed tomorrow. LSU is open, but classes at UNO, SUNO, Delgado, Xavier, and Dillard universities, those are all canceled. And a number of state offices in different parishes have also closed for tomorrow. For the very latest on the school closures, you can head over to our website, WDSU.com. We also have those closings scrolling there at the bottom of your screen. Looking ahead now to the weekend, these events are still going on as planned. Jim Monahan's 34th annual St. Patrick's Day Parade will be on Friday. That'll start on Decatur Street, head uptown to the French Quarter, then it'll go down Bourbon Street and make its way back to Decatur Street. That parade begins at 6:30. The Buku Music and Art Project is also going on, rain or shine. That two-day festival will be held at Mardi Gras World starting at 2 o'clock Friday and Saturday, and it ends at 1 a.m. And on Saturday, it is the 2016 Irish Channel St. Patrick's Day Parade. That parade will roll at 1 o'clock at Louisiana Avenue in Tchoupitoulas. Organizers say they'll make their final decision whether to call off that parade tomorrow afternoon.
And we just received word that Loyola is closed tomorrow. They just let us know that they will not have classes tomorrow, and Tulane is open at this time tomorrow, so maybe that'll change.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, several parishes in the northern part of the state, as we mentioned, have already been hammered by heavy rains that have left behind major flooding. Governor John Bel Edwards will visit Ouachita, Caddo, and Bossier parishes tomorrow and tour storm damage and meet with officials there.
And earlier this evening, he issued a statewide emergency declaration that could remain in effect until at least April. The governor says 3 people have died in connection to the severe weather, including one incident where a driver ignored a street closure. The governor says people should really take this weather event very seriously.
The flow of resources and help from the state is not going to wait until I can personally observe the damage, and that's what I want people to understand. Is we've been moving people and resources where they needed to be for several days now, and that's going to continue.
State police are working double shifts and describe responding to this weather as a marathon, not a 100-yard dash. Here's a look at some flooding from across Louisiana today. There were mandatory evacuations along the Texas-Louisiana border in areas like Vernon Parish. The Sabine River there is expected to reach an all-time high due to the flooding. The same for Shreveport and Bossier City, as officials there are keeping an eye out for any levee breaches. Stick with us on WDSU News this morning. We'll have team coverage of the weather as it moves into the viewing area, and including 2 meteorologists here beginning at 4:30. We'll also have crews in the field getting you the latest information, and we'll have the latest on closures and traffic updates throughout the morning. So wake up with the very latest right here on WDSU beginning at 4:30.
Well, back at home tonight, a double shooting in Central City. Police say one person was shot in the head, the other person shot in the knee. This happened near 3rd and Saratoga Streets around 6:45 this evening. Police say one of the victims told police the suspect ran away towards Daniel Street after shooting at her and a man. Both victims are now at the hospital. That man is in critical condition. And in Algiers, another double shooting investigation. Police said the victims were in a vehicle in a parking lot of a convenience store on Woodland Drive trying to buy drugs. Someone fired a gun, hitting the 2 men in the car. The passenger jumped out of that vehicle and ran off to an apartment complex across the street. The driver took off to get help.
The NOPD is investigating how a man's body ended up inside of a trash can in the lower 9th ward. The body was found just after noon today in the 2300 block of Lizardi Street. The coroner is going to perform an autopsy to determine the exact cause of death. There have been 12 GOP presidential debates, the last one just wrapping up at the University of Miami. Each, it seems, a little more raucous and even more raunchy. Until tonight, that is. Jay Gray is in Miami with a look at the change in tone at tonight's debate.
Republican candidates for president.
This debate, the 12th for Republicans, was different from the start.
Please wait until you are called upon, and please do not talk over one another.
And early, that's exactly the way it was. No interruptions, no personal attacks, a full-on discussion of the issues, like free trade.
We have to sort of take a strong, good, hard look and come up with plans that work.
Immigration.
We're going to build a wall, triple the Border Patrol. We're going to end sanctuary cities. And
Education.
All I'm in favor of in Ohio is high standards. First of all, let me tell you, I would take 125 federal education programs, put them in 4 buckets, and send them back to the states.
And Social Security.
But anyone who tells you that Social Security can stay the way it is lying.
Lying. It's an accusation that was delivered with a different tenor and target in earlier debates.
I've given my answer, Lion Ted.
But tonight, the candidates showed some restraint and even respect.
I will let Donald speak for himself.
Donald Trump at one point calling for unity and even acknowledging how the discussion had changed.
We're all in this together. We're going to come up with solutions. We're going to find the answers to things. And so far, I cannot believe how civil it's been up here.
They didn't always agree, challenging each other's plans, policies, knowledge, and ability to lead. But the political free-for-all of the last several weeks that resembled a cage match more than a conversation was gone, giving way to, well, an actual debate. Jay Gray, NBC News, Miami.
About 100 supporters showed up outside of a federal courthouse in Nevada for Cliven Bundy. He is facing charges over an armed standoff back in April 2014. He refused to enter a plea in a Las Vegas court, so the judge entered a not guilty plea on his behalf. Bundy is among 19 people accused of organizing a standoff that stopped federal agents from rounding up cattle from public land near his ranch in Bunkerville, Nevada. This was Bundy's first Nevada court appearance since he was returned to the state from Oregon, where he was arrested last month. And a twist in the homicide case that spans 2 states. The same day, the Missouri Attorney General announced he will assist in prosecuting the accused murderer. The suspect tried to kill himself. The Montgomery County Sheriff says Pablo Serrano Vitorino cut himself with a razor in an apparent suicide attempt. He was removed from suicide watch yesterday. He is the man charged with killing 4 people in Kansas City and 1 person in Montgomery County.
Still ahead at 10, a racist letter sent to the principal of Edna Karr High School, how school leaders are using it as a learning tool.
And a woman's dream to have her father at her wedding is almost compromised. Why the couple had to make some last-minute changes to their ceremony plans.
Live, local, late breaking. This is WDSU News at 10 with Scott Walker, Adriana Hopkins, Chief Meteorologist Margaret Orr, and sports with Sharif Ishak.
Someone sent a West Bank High School principal a letter filled with racial slurs and profanity, and he says it was in response to the academic success of dozens of students.
33 students from Edna Karr High School were given a $100 reward for having 4.0 GPAs, but the letter said the students could use the money to go with their welfare and food stamps. School leaders contacted police and say this type of racist behavior won't be tolerated.
It's not going to stop our efforts. The school leadership will continue to push hard. Inspire with NOLA will continue to push hard as we continue to march to excellence.
It's very disturbing, and the students were taken aback by those words.
Karr's student body is about 95% African American. The school says it is using the letter as an education tool now on race and will continue to reward students with cash for academic success.
New Orleans city leaders and health officials say they are preparing the public in the event of a Zika virus outbreak. But right now there is no threat to the Crescent City, but city officials still want you to take some precautions. Mayor Mitch Landrieu and city health officials today said the best way to prevent getting bitten is to wear long sleeves and long pants and to use mosquito repellent. Also, if you're planning on traveling to any South American or Caribbean countries that are at a higher risk for Zika, consult with your physician. And of course, the most important thing you can do is to get rid of any open containers of water and bulky trash, because those are the types of places where mosquitoes like to breed. And the Louisiana Department of Health and Hospitals says the number of flu cases is on the rise. Health officials say the number of people seeing their doctor for flu-like symptoms nearly doubled between last November and the end of February. The CDC says the flu vaccine is about 60% effective this year, and they do advise people as young as 6 months old to be vaccinated.
All right, let's talk about this rain that is here and will be here for a little while. Chief Meteorologist Margaret Orr is here. So what can we expect now going through the night into tomorrow?
I think the rain is really going to increase into the morning hours for the South Shore. You know, we haven't had that much here. It's been on the North Shore over into the river parishes, but now that's going to begin to change. Here is a look at what's happening, and you can see that heavy rain over Pearl River County, Washington Parish, into Tangipahoa parishes, and then south of Baton Rouge. That's where we've seen an increase. But if you look south of the city, sure enough, more rain is developing, and I think that that's going to fill in and move northward as we go into the morning hours. Here is a look at that flash flood warning from southwest Mississippi to the North Shore, south of Baton Rouge. Flooding is occurring here, and the potential that you could have another 2 to 4 inches of rain. Again, the flash flood watch is in effect for our entire area. What's driving the rain, and sometimes the lack of rain, is this upper level low. Now, it has moved a little bit closer just south of Texas, but do you see what's happening now? Look at the moisture in the Gulf of Mexico that is just south of Louisiana. That is moving to the north, and that's going to drive our rain tomorrow, which is why we've got that potential for 7 to 10 inches of rain as we go through Saturday. So we can see what's happening right now. Going to the South Shore, these are just showers, but they're beginning to fill in. They're beginning to increase. We can look at this in 3D, and the heaviest, where we're seeing a little bit of lightning too, is heading towards Laplace. Then to the North Shore, the heaviest right now is over Washington Parish, still over Tangipahoa Parish. That's where they really had the heavy rain. That too is why we've got that 10-inch rainfall forecast. It was looking like 7 to 10 inches over towards the Mississippi Gulf Coast, 7 to 10 over towards Baton Rouge, but they've already had that in Livingston Parish. So this is one of our forecast models, and what it shows is that rain increasing. This is 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's changing run to run. The global forecast model actually has had more rain for us, and when you look at all of that moisture to our south moving our way, you really believe it. So we can go to the 7 o'clock hour, we're seeing some rain and storms, and then the 9 o'clock hour, we're seeing the rain and storms. Here we are at 1 o'clock. So as we go into the afternoon, as expected, it begins to diminish. That's great news. Then we go into Saturday morning. Here is more rain moving our way. And I know we've got the Irish Channel St. Patrick's Day parade. Right now it's looking like rain. I wouldn't cancel anything. Wait until the last minute so you can make that decision. Mississippi Gulf Coast in the afternoon. Saturday, you've got that heavy rainfall potential. So flash flood warning through 1:30. Flash flood watch through Saturday, and the coastal flood advisory in effect. And wait, that's why you have a coastal flood advisory. That's Mandeville, and that's not from rain. That's from water being pushed on shore. So looking at tomorrow, rain is likely. Looking at Saturday, rain is likely, especially in the morning. Sunday, the sun comes up, you lose that hour of sleep, I'm sorry to say. And then as you go into Monday and Tuesday, the weather looks great. So we just have to get through the next couple of days.
All right. Thank you.